Holidays are a great time for a horror fan to try and coax a non-horror fan partner into the genre. Hey honey, you want to watch a Christmas movie? That was a joke, don't do that, you will be single before the credits roll. For some actually good advice on converting your partner to embrace horror, here's a list of 5 horror movies that are genuinely romantic AF you can put on for Valentine's Day. One of the roughest relationship evolutions to witness and of course to experience is two people still very much in love but growing apart when they realize their long-term goals aren't the same. If you add in nightly visits from a predatory creature at their rural home, things get even more stressful and complicated. After Midnight is a love story first and foremost about two people trying to find themselves and one another in the face of evolving circumstances. I don't want to say too much more than that because I genuinely want you to watch this one. Suffice it to say, it balances its creature feature and relationship story facets perfectly, and the chemistry and shared history between the two leads and supporting characters is palpable. It's a great movie to watch any time of the year, but especially Valentine's Day. If there is one slam dunk romantic brownie point earning movie on this list, it's Vamps. My favorite thing about it is Kristen Ritter. The first time I ever saw her was in Breaking Bad, and the second was Jessica Jones, so a grim heroin addict and a hard-boiled private investigator. Her character in Vamps is a bubblegum pop 90s era girly girl, and I can't get enough of it. The premise is that she, a vampire, falls for a guy who just happens to be a descendant of the Van Helsing clan of vampire hunters. If you're a hardcore horror fan and you're watching this list just to find new movies to check out, let me warn you that Vamps is barely on this list by merits of horror. Essentially, it only made the cut because at one point a whole restaurant gets murdered and there is some immensely weird blood play. This is first and foremost a romantic comedy with just a little horror flavor sprinkled on top. Like I said, slam dunk genre crosser for Valentine's Day. Warm Bodies is what I would call a compromise film. It's got cursing, it's got blood, it's got guns and action and zombies, oh my, but also, love can conquer death. Undeath, in this case. When a zombie eats the brains of a human survivor's boyfriend, the memories he gains catches him some feelings. Turns out, the more focused a zombie gets on love, the more human they become, indicating a possible cure. Love itself. It's a twee concept, but a fun romp. Like I said, a good compromise between horror and lovey-dovey foo-foo stuff. High school is a time of immense stress. You're trying to figure out who you really are, your body is doing weird things down there, other places too, but mostly down there. Now imagine that on top of all of that, you could energetically explode into a cloud of gore at any time, and no one knows why. That is the plot of Spontaneous. High schoolers are suddenly exploding into messes, which would make the creators of Viscera Cleanup Duty say, I think that's a bit much. Amidst all this madness, an irrelevant love blossoms between Mara and Dylan as they live every moment like they may die the next, because they genuinely might. It's very funny, very sweet and heartfelt, and like I said, has buckets of gore to keep the average horror hound sated. Not only is Spring the most romantic movie on this list, not only is it the most romantic horror movie in existence, it is also by far the most romantic movie I've ever seen, and may be the most romantic movie ever. From the makers of Resolution and The Endless, films renowned for their incredibly relatable and realistic acting and character writing, Spring carries that excellence into putting the love in Lovecraftian. A man gets into some trouble at home and flees to Italy, where he meets a mysterious, intelligent, and secretive woman, falling for her nearly immediately. What follows is possibly the most epic and simultaneously intimate love story put to film. Don't at me. Or do, because negative comments count towards the algorithm too, so checkmate, trolls. And there you have it, 5 extremely romantic horror movies that you can use to try and convert your partner who may be into romance but not horror, and then after they watch Warm Bodies, they might say, you know what, I like that. What's another zombie movie we could watch? And you say, The Sadness. Again, that's a joke, don't do that. You will be single probably before even the first credits, like the beginning intro credits. I think all these movies are neat little gateway drugs, but one that I have actually proved is a great gateway drug to horror is Spontaneous. Not with a romantic partner, but with a roommate who is much more into romance about, like teenage mermaids and stuff. I got her to watch a few horror movies off the back of Spontaneous, and she's still kind of into it. Not as much as me, but Get those conversions, people. Anyway, what are your favorite, most romantic horror movies? Put it in the comments. If I get enough responses, I might make a sequel commenter edition of this video. Until then, I'm Smokey Lyle. This is Horror and Cats. This is Cutscene Kitty. and we'll see you next time. This is Lucifer. He wants to be in the picture too. You have no decorum for the recording studio. Do you?